First, I'd like to just acknowledge the fact that with my people, a lot of things for us are done in what we consider to be divine order. And if it's not the time, it's not when we do it. And so I thought it was interesting that I would be here once again in Geneva just a couple of days before the International Day of the World's Indigenous People, because that has become the question since Gullah Geechee people established ourselves as a nation. And that's one of the things we're going to address is the term indigenous. The other thing I thought was interesting is that this is the International Year of Rice. And rice is not only still a major staple to Gullah Geechee people's diet, but it can be considered the very commodity by which we were enslaved. Because cotton, rice, and indigo were the three cash crops that my ancestors, who came from everywhere from the Senegambia region down to Angola, a few from Madagascar, the entire Windward or Rice Coast region, were the African people that became enslaved, that then blended their cultures, their languages, their traditions, in what is called the Sea Islands and the Low Country, which is sitting right outside of the southeastern seaboard of the United States, where North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida are located. So when we start to talk about this also being the year that UNESCO calls the International Year to commemorate the struggle against slavery and its abolition, all of these things tie together very clearly for myself and my people. So as we begin to look at things, the biggest issue for us now as Gullah Geechee people, and why we have chosen to stand on our human right to self-determination, is because we do refuse to be enslaved by a forced assimilation now. And this is one of the processes that was utilized, of course, when our ancestors were kidnapped and captured, and then forced themselves to be listed as chattel and property right alongside of those bags of rice, those bundles of cotton, and those seeds of indigo. So we have made a very, very long journey from being considered property and chattel to being a nation. And so when we start to look at what other people define us as, we tend to look away from it because it doesn't coincide with what we know we live to be. So when we start to address this issue that we're dealing with in this theme, we have to look at a number of different things. And number one for us is the Yeddi Queen Nation. When I looked up nation in Webster, it said a body of people associated with a particular territory. And I just outlined for you the territory that my people have been associated with at least since 1670. Okay? That is sufficiently conscious of its unity to seek or to possess a government peculiarly its own. And we have established our own nation that has our own flag, our own constitution. And we had to establish this because we didn't just seek to possess a government peculiarly all its own. We saw that as our right to have a government of our own.